Today I'm going to be answering a follower question, and this question came over from TikTok from my friend White Dragon over there. I wonder if that's her first name or her last name. Maybe she'll let me know. So I posted a video on TikTok that said if you have higher quality thoughts, then your life is going to be happier and you'll be more successful. And she asked me, what if it's not your thoughts, but when the people see you finally getting ahead and they want to tear you down, then your thoughts become bad. So the question that she's asking quite simply is, what do you do when you become successful and those around you try to bring you down? And I want you to imagine or think about a time in your life where you've started to become successful in something and what the people around you did. How did they respond? Did people try to bring you down? And if so, what did you do about it? Well, today I'm going to talk to you about why it is that people do that. We're going to get into the science for why it happens. And then I'm going to share with you some strategies that you can employ and learn to employ to deal with this. And coming up later in this video, I'm going to give you some tactics that you can employ today, right away, that are going to have a major effect on you as you become successful to deal with the people around you that are trying to bring you down. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Chris. For the last 2 decades, I have had thousands of paying clients who I've helped wildly grow their businesses and improve their lives. These are people that want to serve others and they simply want to get paid beautifully doing something they love. So I help them do that, but I do it in a way like you might not think. So thanks for being here on this video. Let's get into why this happens, why people want to tear you down when you start to be successful, because it's not that they're jealous. You might look at it and say, wow, they're just jealous and they don't want me to have this. It's not that they're jealous, and it's not that they want to intentionally harm you. They're not waking up in the morning saying, I think I'm going to go mess with White Dragon today. Actually, just saying that phrase kind of makes me afraid. I wouldn't want to mess with someone named White Dragon, but they're not waking up and they're saying that. It's much more complex than that. So first, your success has challenged a benchmark that they've set for themselves. Whether people realize it or not, they set benchmarks for their level of success. And they tend to surround themselves with people who are at about or just below the same level of success for the benchmark that they've set for themselves. When you start to elevate yourself and you start to be more successful, or when you start to get ahead and they are not, you've challenged that benchmark. So inside of their brain, and I don't want to get too brain sciencey here, but inside of their basal ganglia, inside of their limbic system, which are the lower 2/3 of the brain, which are responsible for keeping us alive and keeping the species alive, you've challenged that benchmark, so now they're going to try to regulate you based on their own benchmark. And it's unfortunate when that happens, but it's really simply a response that's happening in the brain that's causing that to happen. Again, it's not jealousy and they're not waking up to do this. They can't help themselves because they've established that benchmark and you've challenged it with your level of success. Second, when you are showing and displaying levels of success, or you're getting ahead, you might be stirring up something for them. You might be stirring up something that happened in their past when they've tried to succeed and they weren't able to. And here you are succeeding. And so you're causing a chemical response in their brain that is stirring up negative memories from the past. And when people have negative memories from the past in their brains, well, they have negative thoughts, and those negative thoughts produce negative actions. Those negative actions then start to affect you, and it can feel like they're trying to bring you down. Third, there's more biology that goes on inside of the brain. And I'm reminded of a story, and I don't remember who told me this story because it was years ago, but there's a story of a person who's fishing for crabs, which I don't know if that's something you can actually do. Is a crab even a fish? I don't think so. I think it's a crustacean. So this is a fisherman that goes for crustaceans. That's a crustacean whatever it is. They're sitting there on the dock and they're bringing up crabs and they're putting them in a bucket. And when they got more and more crabs, that bucket started to fill up. And a passerby came by and noticed that there wasn't a cover on the bucket. And they said to the person, they said, why don't you put a cover on the bucket? You're going to lose the crabs. And the person smiled and said, no, whenever a crab tries to escape the bucket, the other crabs grab them and pull them back in. And that is a metaphor for what's really happening here. And it is that people don't want to see you leave the tribe. They don't want to see you leave the group. Because in the basal ganglia, in the limbic system of our brains, these are the brains that respond to emotion and action. And they can get very emotional because they see you leaving the tribe. And so there's a couple of things that happen there. First, biologically, the species is stronger when the tribe is together. The tribe has more ability to fight and protect against pterodactyls or whatever that might be coming, or storms or whatever that might be coming to harm us. So there's this built-in chemistry that says we got to try to keep ourselves together. When someone starts to leave that, it feels very uncomfortable inside the brain. And so people want to bring you back in. That's why they want to bring you back down. They want to bring you down to their level so you stick around. Second, when you start to leave the group and you go off on your own because you've established some level of success, now they're not thinking this, but this is what's happening in their brain. They're like, well, what's that person doing that I'm not doing? And why is that happening? And are they safe? Would I be safer with them? I don't know. Let's bring them back down. Let's regulate this back into a group. And that's really what happens. So you think about those crabs in the bucket, and every time a crab tries to get out and escape, the other ones bring it back in. The ones that are bringing him back in aren't saying, hey, you're sticking around here with us, to turn into a soup later on. We just know that we're better, stronger as a group, so we're going to bring you back and we're not going to let you go. And that's what's happening. So people aren't jealous and they're not trying to hurt you. They're just responding to the chemistry and biology in their brains. And it's unfortunate, but it's what happens. So now that we know why it happens, let's talk about what you can do to counter the effects of it. And before I get to that, if you're a business owner watching this and this kind of brain stuff and exploring human nature as it relates to your business is intriguing to you, my collaborative mastermind is perfect for you. Now, you already have to have started a business for this to be right for you. If you don't already have a business, you're not going to get a lot out of this. But if you go right here, I'm going to put it on the screen. There it is, collab.proudy.me. That's where you can get the scoop on my collaborative mastermind. This is a group of people who are all moving together fast to get to their goals. Their goals are make more money, have more impact, and have a ton of fun while we do it. So if that sounds like you, if you want that, it's not for everybody. You've got to want to make more money. You've got to want to have a better result for your clients, and you've got to want to have fun. This might be for you. So go check out collab.proudy.me. Proudy's my last name. I think you might have already figured that out. So what can you do now that you understand it? Well, I've got 5 things here. And then after I share these 5 things on the next page of this, I've got some really impactful stuff that you can start doing right away. Not easy stuff, but stuff you can start doing right away. So first, remove these people from your life. And wow, that sounds like a dramatic and a drastic move is to remove these people from your life. But if you're going to achieve the massive amounts of success that you seek, there's no room for this in your life, as hard as that might sound. I've had to do it. People that I serve have had to do it. And every time we do it, we come away feeling better and better and better. The reality is, the people that are trying to bring you down, they're not going to be there for you when you ultimately achieve those goals and you ultimately get that success. They're just not. Their demonstrations of behavior at the beginning are going to be the same as their behaviors at the end, right? So there's no room in your life for these people. Now, you can't always remove everyone from your life. Sometimes these people are part of your family. Sometimes you have to be around these people. So step B here is to minimize your exposure to these people. Because if you can't remove these people from your lives, you can at least minimize your exposure to them. And it would be wise to minimize the amount of time that you spend with them. Minimize meaning not bringing it down to zero, just as less as you can. That's really not the right kind of English. Is it as few hours as you can spend with them. If it's people that are in your in-law group, just you see them on the occasional holiday, you talk about light stuff, but that's it. You are minimizing your exposure to these people. And then it would be handy to find a dictionary and turn to the N, the letter N section, and look up the word no and memorize the definition of the word no. You want to say no to these people as much as possible because they're always going to be coming at you with requests. Many times those requests are going to take you off task for the success that you're trying to achieve. You've gotten ahead. They're going to start asking you to do things that take you off that level of success. Here's an example. I recently, in the past couple of years, lost 100 pounds. And I did so through intermittent fasting. And I continue to do that. And you'll find videos on my channel about that. When I lost that weight, I went from about 260 pounds to 163 pounds. When I lost that weight, people that I was around were encouraging me to eat even though I was fasting and I wasn't in a time, it wasn't a time when I could eat, but there was a lot of the guilt trips and a lot of the, oh, you should, or come on, or just once. No. And I had to get really good at saying no to people. So if there was food available and they were forcing it on me, no, I'm not eating right now. It's how I lost the weight and it's how I've kept the weight off. And it wasn't that they were intentionally trying to get me to gain weight, but intermittent fasting is hard, especially the way that I do it. If my microphone's sensitive enough, my stomach just rumbled as I was talking about that. It's hard to do, and not everybody can do it. So it stirs up emotions in others, and they want to just regulate you back to their benchmark. Okay, so learn to say no. Next, setting clear boundaries for your time, your attention, your energy, your money, your effort, whatever it is, establish those boundaries and stick to them. That level of discipline is going to pay huge dividends for you in the future. And then fill your space with positive people that lift you up. Now, these are not easy people to find because they have to stop working in the basal ganglia in the limbic system and they have to start working in the neocortex, which is the inspired part of the brain, the non-emotional part of the brain that doesn't respond to impulses for addiction or impulses for compulsions or things like that. The part of the brain that illuminates and gets really energized when you're doing inspired activities. Those kind of people are going to push you and drive you forward. In fact, those are the kind of people that I've handpicked to be a part of my collaborative mastermind, which you can explore. You can get the whole scoop by going to that link right there, collab.proudy.me. It's called Force Acceleration. It is a group of people who work in an inspired manner to make more money, have more impact, and have a ton of fun while we're doing it. So if you're looking away to quickly fill your space with those kind of people, that will do it for you, and it will happen for less than the price of coffee at Dunkin' Donuts. And I love myself some Dunkin' Donuts, a nice, I got to drink black coffee now, but when I was a kid, extra, you know what I mean. If you're a Dunkin' Donuts fan, you know what that means. So let me show you some strategies that you can start using today, right now, right away, that are going to help you. They're here. Here are 3 big strategies you can start to do right now. First, this is a hard one. Don't talk about your success. The moment you start to become successful, however you define that, whether you start to make the money, you start to have the clients, or you get the impact, or you're having a ton of fun in your business, whatever it is, stop talking about it. There's no need for the people around you to know how much money you make or how much success you've had. It's unimportant to them. The fewer people that know about your success, the better. Because once people learn about your success, as we learned earlier, the biology, the chemistry, and the psychology starts to kick in. So don't talk about your success. You can start doing that right away. And then realize that you are in complete control of your thoughts. So even if someone starts hammering you, trying to bring you down, control your thoughts. Don't let that person control your thoughts. You now have an awareness and a mindfulness to what's happening. Your job is to maintain that awareness so that when you observe others trying to bring you down, you can control your thoughts. You don't have to have negative thoughts in that case. You can maintain your high quality positive thoughts despite what they're doing. They are trying, based on what we've learned. You do not have to respond. You're in control. You control what goes on here, not them. And you remember that always. You're in control of what goes on here. And then finally, you call the shots. Simplify everything. Reduce your exposure to the negative influences. This is more than just the people who are trying to bring you down. This is media. This is mindless scrolling. This is watching the news. This is getting involved in other people's lives. This is gossip. This is judgment. This is everything that's a negative influence on your life. Minimize your exposure to all of it and realize that you call the shots. And if you want some help becoming that person, becoming unstoppable and an extraordinary person, well, you can DM me on any platform. Because in addition to this awesome mastermind, which is exclusively for people who have started businesses, I also have a very small, thin herd, is what we call it, group of people that we specifically focus on enhancing your performance and creating extraordinary levels of achievement for you. Send me a DM on any platform. I'll share with you some strategies that you can start using. And if you'd like to be a part of that group, you can just let me know when you DM me. Okay, so the quick summary here is stop talking about your success, be in control of your thoughts, and start to reduce your exposure. Be in control. Call the shots. And then these people that are dragging you down, they'll move on. They'll find another crab to bring back in the bucket. See how I brought that all around? They'll find somebody else to bring down, and it won't have to be you. All right? So White Dragon, that's all for you, and I hope everybody else got something out of this. Let me know in the comments what your biggest takeaway was from our little conversation today, and I'll see you in the next one.